The Bible secretly describes a time when giants walked the earth amongst humans, and only 4 verses in Genesis describe them. Yet those verses have puzzled readers for thousands of years. The Bible calls them the Nephilim, gigantic warriors, men of terrifying strength, figures so powerful that people said they were mighty men of old, men of renown. But their appearance marked something far darker, and because these giants walked the earth, violence consumed the world. Who were they? Where did they come from? And why did their existence happen right before the most devastating judgment in human history? Tonight, we uncover the chilling mystery hidden in Genesis chapter 6.
The world was already old when the strange rumors began to spread. In those days, people were multiplying across the earth, families spreading into valleys and plains, children growing into nations. Fields were tilled, tents were raised, and the sound of human life filled the land. Yet beneath this growth, something darker was stirring. Scripture records a moment both mysterious and troubling. The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves, whoever they chose. Genesis 6 verse 2. Whatever the full meaning of this passage, the result was clear and unmistakable. Something unnatural followed. From these unions came offspring unlike ordinary men. They were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. Genesis 6 verse 4. They were called the Nephilim. Their presence changed the world. Across the lands, stories spread of towering warriors, figures whose strength seemed beyond ordinary human limits. Their footsteps shook the ground. Their battles echoed across valleys. People whispered about them around fires at night. These were not quiet men. They were powerful, feared, and famous. The Bible simply calls them mighty men, men of renown. Their reputation traveled far beyond the places where they walked. Yet their rise did not bring peace. As human generations continued, violence began to spread like a dark storm across the earth. The strength of these mighty ones, combined with the growing corruption of mankind, turned the world into a place of oppression and cruelty. Genesis describes the condition of humanity in heartbreaking words. The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Genesis 6 verse 5. The earth was no longer the good creation it had once been. Violence filled it. Pride grew unchecked. Human hearts, meant for fellowship with God, had turned almost entirely toward evil. The presence of the Nephilim became part of this corrupted world, a sign that something had gone terribly wrong. Then Scripture reveals one of the most solemn moments in the entire Bible. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. Genesis 6 verse 6. The Creator looked upon the world he had formed, the mountains, the rivers, the people he had breathed life into, and his heart was filled with sorrow. Not anger alone, grief. Because the earth had become so corrupted, God declared a coming judgment. I will blot out man whom I have created from the face of the land, for I am sorry that I have made them. Genesis 6 verse 7. The violence, the wickedness, the arrogance of mankind had reached its limit. Yet in the middle of this darkness, one man walked a different path. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Genesis 6 verse 8. Noah lived in the same corrupted world as everyone else. He saw the same violence, heard the same stories of powerful men and terrifying strength. Yet his heart remained turned toward God. The Bible describes him simply and powerfully. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God. Genesis 6 verse 9. While mighty warriors gained fame and power across the earth, Noah chose something far greater, faithfulness. And because of that faithfulness, God revealed his plan. A flood was coming. The corruption of the world, the violence that filled it, and the deep wickedness of human hearts would not continue forever. God would cleanse the earth with waters that would cover mountains and valleys alike. But Noah and his family would be preserved. God instructed him to build an ark, a massive vessel that would carry life safely through the coming judgment. Into it would go Noah, his wife, his sons, their wives, and pairs of every living creature. While the world continued in its pride and violence, Noah built, board by board, year after year. The mighty men of renown filled the earth with their strength and reputation, but they could not stop what was coming. When the flood finally arrived, the rains fell without mercy. The fountains of the deep burst open. Waters rose across the plains and climbed the hills. The age of the Nephilim, the age of unchecked violence and human corruption, came to an end beneath the rising waters. Only the ark remained above the waves, and when the waters eventually receded and the ark rested on dry ground, the world that emerged was different. Humanity would begin again through Noah's family. Yet the story of the Nephilim did not disappear entirely from Scripture. Centuries later, when Israel's spies entered the land of Canaan, they reported seeing enormous warriors there as well. We saw the Nephilim there, and we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers. Numbers 13:33. The Bible does not explain every detail of these mysterious figures, but their brief appearance in Genesis stands as a reminder of how deeply the world once fell into corruption before the flood. Power without righteousness leads only to destruction. Fame without obedience to God cannot endure. The mighty men of renown filled the earth with their strength, but history remembers a different man. Not the giants, but Noah, the man who walked with God when the world had forgotten him.